what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Arknights reaction. I didn't really have one that was requested on the comments of last video, so I'm just going to be doing this one. Never forgetting, never forgiving. I don't know what event this is a part of. This image looks new, so like I have never seen this before. Don't know who it's related to. I didn't have a comment to give me even an idea, so here we are, and I suppose without further ado, let's go! Ooh. Okay. Building up that energy. Building up that tension. Okay. Oh, whoa, what? Okay. That shifted direction so fast. I'm not mad about it. I just didn't know where it was gonna go. And now I really don't know. This is such a cool sound. At first I thought it was gonna be a little bit more like traditional Egyptian, Middle Eastern maybe. That's kind of where it was going. But it modernized real quick. It's completely shifted the genre of where it was. That is such an interesting sound. Oh, that's so cool. Like, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Sumeru Desert in Genshin a little bit, just with the overall inspiration it was starting out with. But then the second it just cranked into what it became, oh man, that changed my entire concept immediately. All right, so obviously this song is pretty heavily inspired by like the Middle East, Egypt sort of sound. I'm sure wherever this song plays is probably played in a place that's inspired by that. I know that there is one in Arknights, so it would not be a shocker. You know, it's just more like it's been a while since I've heard anything from that area, and I don't think I've ever really done a breakdown on an Arknights song from that area, at least not one that wasn't like a character theme, for example. But this one's really fun because of how it handles the E. It's not necessarily the E, I don't think. I think we're actually in E minor or somewhere in that pocket. Maybe it slides around a little bit, but I do love how they have this be like the brightness of this entire song. Like everything else in this song is pretty heavy-handed, a little bit more down on the energy, a lot of minor chords and flats more than anything else, but as that, we have the D minor and A minor, and it goes right back up to the E. You know, just you get that nice little balance of having that lift back into it. And it does do the E minor as well in this song, and that's why I can't really tell exactly which one they're trying to use. But it does create this beautiful sound of tension that just follows this track around. My favorite part of this entire song being the section kind of like 2/3 of the way through, where it has the A minor goes down to a D sharp, and then it kind of comes back up, goes to a G minor, goes back up, goes back down. I think it actually goes to a D sharp minor at one of those times. One of those times, maybe. Is it like the first one this, second one that, or vice versa? Either way, and then it bounces back up to the G minor, lifts up, B flat, settles back into the A minor. I really like that. I really like that a lot. It has such an aggressive fight. You can really feel the tension settle everywhere it shouldn't be, and then it goes back up to things like the E, and that's where we end too. We end on that E, which has a very positive resonance. It's not like the song ends on this tension that never gets released. The resolve is there. Everything feels really solidified. It starts at E, it ends at E. That's the entirety of it, and everything between there is basically just scales going up and down. I'm sure they're using Egyptian scales, probably more Phrygian styled in that way, just to make it feel a little bit more of that area and of that inspiration, because that's something they do all the time over there, just traditionally. So it's fantastic. I love how they pay attention to these sorts of things, and I love that Stephen Grove, who I've heard work from before, was like, yeah, let's change this up and not just do something neo-traditional, you know? Let's change it up into an entirely different genre and still have those aspects in there of that traditional sound. They didn't stick with that original sound the whole way through like I thought they were going to, and why I got confused when it didn't, because I was totally expecting them to. It was more like, oh, you're doing something different now. You want the sound, the area to sound probably more, you know, wrought with that electro tone. So you don't want to have just that traditional sound coming in. Obviously, I don't know what they would be fighting in this. I'm assuming this feels like a combat song, so I'm assuming it's probably one of the combat songs for whatever this event or area is, but I'm not sure what type of enemies they would be facing. This sounds like it would be like artificial enemies, you know, like robots, androids, the mechanical whatevers that are trying to kill you, you know, you name it, somewhere in that window. But they did it. Steven did it with this song. He made that sound more threatening. But then to shift that from the like da 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 rhythm that we had started with to the more standardized rhythm of EDM to keep things like really rock solid and steady the whole way through. Because sure, the first one has a really nice cadence to it. It feels like it's churning and moving forward. It has a good energy to drive you forward. What it doesn't have is the intensity of weight behind it. You have a little bit of that with the da 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 da. You feel those like impacts on the accents, but it doesn't have as much weight as just a dun 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 dun. It just riding the 4 on the floor, keeping that energy so consistent. It feels much more intense in doing that, despite the energy of the first version having more general intensity through the speed. The feeling of weight is carried behind the second rhythm. So that's a really nice way to show that there is now like a larger threat. Then maybe this song is kind of riding off the heels of a different track in this game, like a prior level or something, and they want to make sure that you feel it, kind of like a boss, or like probably more accurately a mini boss, and then you want to convert that into this heavier, more threatening energy, something with a lot bigger of a weight to it, something that feels much more intense and satisfying in a different way. And doing that sort of transition from that faster cadence to the slower, more intense one with all of the energy to back it up and all of that weight behind the track is a great way to do that. So hats off to Stephen Grove for nailing it on that, assuming that I'm right in guessing based off the song what's going on here, and that it's probably some sort of a combat theme. Not sure against who, could just be a standard combat theme as well, but I feel like it has good potential to be like a mini boss or a boss theme if it's not. So I'd be surprised if it wasn't, but also not, you know, we're in that window between. But either way, really good song, really good sound. I'm surprised that nobody has asked about this event. I'm assuming it's brand new, being like 9 hours old, but I don't know how long the event has been, if it's been like global and that's just because they're uploading it here, that it's like live in the EN servers. However that happens to work out, I'm surprised nobody's asked for any music from this area or event. But either way, if you have another one you want me to get to, drop in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!